Hi, I'm Joe Polizzi, and this is the Content Inc. podcast. 5 minutes every Monday for content creators who desire to be content entrepreneurs. This podcast is supported by Memberful. With Memberful, there is an easier way to sell subscription memberships to your audience, unlocking a new source of revenue so you can build that financially independent content business you've always wanted. It's too easy. Integrates with all the tools you currently use, including your own branding, your gated content, private podcasts, and you can even include membership tiers and community spaces. And as you know, I'm a huge fan of control over your audience data. So guess what? Memberful gives you just that. Get started for free at memberful.com/contentinc. That's memberful.com/contentinc. My friend and an amazing content entrepreneur, Lexi Grant, wrote a post on LinkedIn that I'd like you to read, and I'll put the link in the show notes, but I'd like to chat with you a little bit about it. The title is, "It's Not Just You, It's Harder Now to Make a Living as a Creator." And she's right. It is. When I started my content creator journey in 2007 with a blog about content marketing, there wasn't much competition. I could list, 40 people who were covering the area around the world. I personally knew most of the main players from growing up in the custom publishing industry, so that made it a lot easier. And then selling that company and launching another organization in the content space, I honestly thought it would be a lot easier. And to a point, it was easier. Easier to build the initial audience? Absolutely. I already had an audience, and of course, we have a dozen ways to share and grow an audience on social media. But making money from that? A whole lot harder. Exponentially more difficult. Now, Lexi runs through a few points on this. First, she says there are literally zero barriers to entry. All you need is a phone. Anyone can do it. There's no moat, per se. This means lots and lots of competition. Second, most creators go into the same content area. The idea of helping people become better at content creation. And that's what the Tilt and CEX does as well. We are adding to the clutter, if you will. Lexi says that successful ones who do this are best at marketing and selling. Now, she's absolutely right. Selling is the hardest part of this equation. A lot of content creators get into creating content as a sales strategy because they don't want to do the hard sell. But you know what? You pretty much have to bake it into your content business to be successful. You have to ask for the sale. And most creators hate doing this, but then when they have to, they don't do it very well. And social media, what can I say about that? Back in the day, I had a truly active following on Twitter, over 150,000 followers. I could make things happen. And now it does nothing for me. And I'm not saying you can't make it work. A lot of people are killing it on X, but it takes a ton of work and hours of investing on that platform to do that well. And I'm not willing to spend my time there, so I went from Twitter influencer to a bunch of nothing on X. Now, Lexi also makes this comment I want to read. She says, "I actually think this sea change started a couple years ago, but it was masked by the aftermath of the pandemic. Demand increased as everything moved to the web, and online businesses got a boost as a result. Now that boost has dissipated, creating a new normal, and even people who have spent years building online businesses are feeling the strain." All this gets Lexi feeling that the creator bubble is about to burst. I don't know, maybe it already has. But Lexi believes there is big potential in creator-led in-person events like ours, which she was nice enough to mention, Content Entrepreneur Expo, as well as niches that are not in the marketing and content creator space. Now, my comment on her LinkedIn played into that, where I go on and say, first, to your point, it takes a long time to become a success as a content entrepreneur. Our research at Tilt Publishing shows it takes about 18 months to start making money, but I truly believe that number is 3 to 4 years. And guess what? That's pretty much like any other small business. Second, I know hundreds of creators personally who are doing exactly what you say. They are selling the idea of content creation. Now, I do this as well. While the Justin Welsh and Jay Klaus types have broken through, Most won't. How many people do you need online selling pretty much the same thing in the same way? Not many, yet there are tens of thousands jumping into the same area. To your point, the opportunity for content entrepreneurs is in the old B2B areas like manufacturing, operations, the business of food, engineering. For example, Anthony Fasano has done a great job building a podcast business around civil engineering. And last, to build on many of the comments, and by the way, this is me again, it's worth going through all the amazing comments from truly incredible content creators. I say, most creators don't start with the end in mind. Most just start and see what happens. While that may work, it most often doesn't. In closing, I still believe that starting a content business is the best business in the world to start. But I would add the but. It needs to be done strategically and with thought. I hope this helps. And make sure you read Lexi's original post. Again, I'll put that in the show notes. Good luck, and I'll talk to you next Monday. Hey gang, before we go, a reminder, we've got less than 2 months to Content Entrepreneur Expo CEX, May 5th through 7th. I want to see you there. And Robert Rose and myself, who have another podcast that I hope you listen to, This Old Marketing, we're doing a live podcast there, and we're holding a special drawing. And if you would like to be our guest on May 5th in Cleveland at CEX, you have to go to cex.events, sign up, and use the coupon code TOM100. That's TOM100 at cex.events. Go ahead and register, and then you'll be put into the drawing, and you might be our special guest there. And regardless, I want to see you there. I'd love to meet with you, talk to you. And you can tell from this podcast episode where we were talking about Lexi's post, this is really, really important stuff. And I believe coming together as a community and learning together is one of the ways we can all be more successful. So I hope to see you there. Thanks again. Talk soon.